Reached episode 42 of The Simpsons, and almost as if we planned it, I'll upload this on Halloween itself.
Oh my god.
Treehouse of Horror 2, the, as you may have guessed, second Treehouse of Horror, the yearly instalments where The Simpsons take a break from being a sitcom about a wacky family and indulge in an anthology format of three separate stories. So I thought the best way to do this would be a brief introduction, bit on each one, and a conclusion like we did last year.
Okay.
Okay, so anything to say about the opening, which is Marge just saying like, don't watch this again, and then the family eats some candy, and that's set up for the dreams. Anything to talk about with that?
Well, you know, like in the old days, they didn't really know how they were going to like deal with like these Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah.
So it makes sense of having some kind of framing narrative to kind of keep it like, you know, rooted into the world of The Simpsons, but I'm kind of glad they stopped doing it.
Yeah.
I do like the traditional opening of like Marge behind the red curtain and being like, you know, doing a little disclaimer kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they moved away from the whole, like, we need a framing device.
Yeah.
I liked it in the first one.
Yeah.
Where we're all telling like scary stories to each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense. This one I thought was a little bit, was alright.
It's a bit lame, really.
It's kind of my feeling about the whole Treehouse of Horror episode.
This one?
Yeah, except for the first one.
Yeah.
I think the others are a little bit
hit and miss.
Hit and miss, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a notable step down from the last one.
Last one's amazing.
Yeah, and like the ones going forwards are a lot better than this one. But it's still a really good episode.
It's good.
Yeah.
But there's lots of like the ideas of the episodes are great. You know, Bart's got like a Twilight. So we do like a Twilight Zone episode. Yeah. Or we do the Monkey Paw story, or at the end they do like almost like a take on Frankenstein.
Yeah.
All the ideas are fine, and there's some really funny jokes from it, but it's almost like it's not enough to last the 7 minutes.
Well, what's funny is that they obviously have the opening in this, and they get rid of that later on because they become more ambitious.
Yeah.
Like one of my favourites is the shinning.
Oh, yeah,
which feels like it could have been like an entire episode. There's so much in it and it's so packed. Or that brilliant one which is a rip on Gremlins.
Oh yeah.
Where Bart gets the Krusty toy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that one.
But these ones feel like, although fun, they don't really know. They've not got as much ambition with these. They're just trying to be like little things. So as that, a segue into first one.
Which we were guessing they didn't have titles back in the day.
Yeah, because with all the other ones, if you were to like look in the booklets, it would have told you what they were. Like, but this one, it just has like a generic quote. Like, so this is, look everybody, my purse exploded.
Oh yeah.
Which is as good a title as anything. But yeah, just call it the Monkey Paw one.
The Monkey Paw one, yeah. Well, that I am such an ignorant person.
Yeah.
But that's like a real little story.
Alright.
I thought it was like an original story, but I was talking to my girlfriend the other day and she was talking about this story all about like a monkey paw and how it gives wishes and all that. But apparently that's like a real story, and I was like, oh, the only one I know about is the Simpsons one.
Well, it's a really famous archetype, isn't it? A guy gets 3 wishes and then and then they all come back on him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was a specific monkey paw thing.
It's a specific story, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So we're in Marrakesh, like you do.
Yeah.
And Homer comes across like a street peddler who's selling him a monkey paw, which will give him, was it 4 wishes?
Yeah, because it's the hands and they only have four fingers. Yeah.
And he gives Homer the warning that you can have any wish you want, but it'll basically come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't is Maggie's.
No, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
You could have easily written it, I don't know, like the pacifier explodes or something.
Yeah.
Anything really is, yeah.
Or it was a used pacifier.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that. So we take the monkey paw home and we're debating over like how to use the wishes. Maggie makes her first wish and she wishes for a pacifier, which Homer at first thinks is like a luxury limo, but then it's just a guy who's delivering a new pacifier to Maggie.
Yep.
The second one is Bart wishes that the Simpsons are rich and famous, and it ends up being a big meta joke on the popularity of the Simpsons in the early 90s, which I think is really funny and really clever.
That was really good, yeah. Like, wasn't there actually a Simpsons Go Calypso album? Because I know there's Simpsons, there's the Blue album.
There's the Yellow album.
Oh no, it's Sing the Blues, isn't it?
That's
like a blues album.
There was one where people, like, this is one step too far.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is. I think it's a My World of Flops, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But there was one where like the general public this has gone like one step too far now. It's getting a bit silly.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, at first they were cute and funny, now they're just very annoying.
Yeah.
Now I wish they were dead. And I really love the joke of like, oh well, like Helen Lovejoy's walking past a big billboard. It's like, get a, what was it like a manogram or something like that?
Manogram, something like that. Yeah.
Get a manogram, man. No, isn't there anything they won't do? I think that's a really funny joke.
Yeah. Even more funny now, considering how far The Simpsons has fallen and how sick everyone is of it, and the fact it's lasted for 25 years plus now. Yeah.
Plus, yeah.
So yeah, this one only endures us that little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that little bit.
Yeah.
Least event wishes for world peace.
Yeah.
Which is really great, and everyone destroys all the nuclear weapons and gets rid of all their weapons and violent stuff, and they shut down the Pentagon and stuff like that. And this ends up opening up an alien invasion by
Kang and Kodos.
now canon Kang and Kodos.
Yeah.
So they do like an alien invasion, and Homer's like, all right, I need to make my wish. I want a turkey sandwich on rye bread with lettuce, a little bit of mayo. And then like he's easy. Oh, this is pretty good, but the turkey's dry. The turkey's dry.
Yep.
Anyway, so Homer chucks out the monkey's paw, and then it's picked up. Well, he gives it to Ned Flanders, and then Ned Flanders wishes all the aliens away. He gets a massive mansion castle thing in. Everything's looking swell for Flanders.
Yeah. So yeah, what did you think of the Monkey Paw one?
I like it.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, I really like the better joke of him becoming rich and famous.
Yeah.
That's really funny, and that works really well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can take or leave this one, really.
I think it has a great visual gag, which is the bit where Homer gets the monkey paw, and then his family go, where do you get that from? And he goes, oh, from over there. And then it's like some leaves rustling.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh no, it was over there. And
yeah.
then you look and it's still there. That's a really great visual gag. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's just a sort of standard thing. There's nothing really to recommend that much about this one.
Yes.
It's alright, yeah.
Second one is the first of many, I think it's a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Either or like a Tales of...
I read on the Wikipedia that it's meant to be... There is a Twilight Zone episode which has the same
Which is about
premise.
this, yeah.
Yeah,
now,
so it's riffing on that.
Again, obviously, because this is still nascent Simpsons, I don't think it's one of the better Twilight Zone spoofs we do. The best one, I think, is one where Bart sees the imp.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
That's the spoof. I think that's the William Shatner episode.
Yeah.
Where like he sees like some, I don't know, some demon like attached to the airplane or something.
Yeah.
But they change it on the school bus. That's my favourite Twilight Zone spoof episode.
Yeah.
But again, so like this one, it does the whole setup that Bart has supernatural powers which allows him to have complete control over the whole world basically, and if no one, if people don't think happy thoughts, Bart will just dispose of them or do something horrific to like turn to a dog or something, or in Homer's case turns him into a jack-in-the-box.
Yeah.
They then do a kind of weird thing where Dr. Marvin Monroe tries to get the two of them to connect together as father and son, and this one runs out of steam quite quickly, I think.
Well, it's a bit of a mess, really. It begins as one thing, then it just sort of like completely goes downhill when he meets Marvin Monroe.
Yeah, ironically, yeah.
Well, because he do nothing right.
No, the setup's great.
Yeah,
I love the setup. Actually, no, Marvin Monroe can do something right. He does one thing right. At least one of my favourite jokes in The Simpsons in the 130th episode Spectacular, where he shows like a silhouette of like Bleeding Gums Murphy and Dr. Marvin Monroe, and he's trying to declare like, which two popular Simpsons characters died in the last year? And then after the ad break, it's, if you said Dr. Marvin Monroe and Bleeding Gums Murphy, you were wrong. They weren't ever popular. That's one of my favourite jokes in the whole thing.
I do love that, yeah.
But yeah, sorry, yeah. So again, the setup's great. I really like the setup. I really like Twilight Zone-esque stories.
Yeah.
And The Simpsons doing it is really funny.
Yeah.
But then I think, yeah, after me, Dr. Marvin Monroe, I think the whole thing kind of just doesn't really know what to do.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Is it for some reason about halfway through becomes an episode about, well, not an episode, obviously a micro episode about Homer and Bart's relationship.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because there's no setup and no stakes to what's happening or anything, and like there's just not enough time to establish that.
Yeah.
Like if they'd have had a couple of minutes or something to establish that in this dream world they have a troubled relationship, there might have been more stakes to it.
It might go a long way, yeah.
And it would have helped if it wasn't a dream, because the dream automatically invalidates a lot of that. But yeah, it's okay. It's not really that funny.
Yeah.
There are a couple of funny visual bits with everyone like walking around with their grins.
Yeah. I really like the image of Jasper as a dog. That's a really disturbing little bit of character design there. It's really weird to look at.
There's a great the bit where the dog, Santa's little helper, becomes like a really weird looking thing.
Oh, you mean Snowball?
Oh, is it Snowball?
It's Snowball
he makes it into a more interesting cat. That's really good. But overall, it's again a bit like the first one, just a bit plain, a bit bland.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they've at least attempted to make this Bart centric.
Yeah.
Like the problem with the first one, actually, I should have touched on then, is the fact that it's like a Lisa dream, but it's not about Lisa.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a real problem because this one's about Bart, the next one's about Homer. The first one, Lisa just has a random dream where Homer's the main character.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's completely, it's like out of pace with the other ones.
Yeah, you're right.
And probably because they didn't know how to write a Lisa episode, because she wouldn't, at this point, she's not as elastic a character as she'd become.
The one thing that they did get right about Lisa's character, which I noticed this, is what her Halloween costume is. It's like a totem pole dedicated to Native Americans.
Is it?
That's a very Lisa thing to do.
It is, yeah.
So they get that part right. But now then the next episode is proof that you can do a good Lisa episode.
Yeah.
In another masterpiece of this series, Lisa's Pony.
Yeah.
But that's next time.
But yeah, it's just a bit funny that the Lisa dream isn't actually about Lisa.
Yeah, no, I've not thought about that.
But it's odd, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why. But anyway, yeah, so that one, again, the Twilight Zone one was okay, which leads into the third one. Homer Frankenstein one. So what happens in this one?
Mr. Burns is suddenly he's like a Dr. Frankenstein type. He wants to create the perfect employee, so he fashions like a robot casing.
Yeah.
All he needs is a brain. And for some inexplicable reason, he decides to go with Homer.
Yeah.
And they scalp out Homer's brain. Well, I should say, Mr. Burns does a random firing, and he chooses to fire Homer for sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
Homer's looking for a new job, and he gets up and getting a job as a grave digger.
Yeah.
Under Willie's tutelage.
Yeah.
Anyway, he ends up falling asleep in the grave, and Mr. Burns is like looking for a corpse to take the brain out of, and he's like, "Ooh, this one's fresh," kind of thing, an open grave.
Yeah.
So they scalp out Homer's brain and we put him inside this robot. Anyway, the robot's an absolute disaster because he's got Homer's brain in it.
Yeah.
It just sleeps and tries to eat and doesn't do anything. And in the end, Mr. Burns gets crushed because they take the brain out, they put it back into Homer's original body and want to return it to his family. The robot then collapses and crushes Mr. Burns, and then they have to do some kind of surgery on him. Well, they do a bit of a fake out kind of thing, where Homer wakes up from the dream. He's like, ah, and then he goes to the bathroom. He sees Mr. Burns being grafted onto his shoulder.
Yep.
And yeah, it's still a dream, or isn't it?
Exactly. Yes. That's how the episode ends, with some good old-fashioned ambiguity. Oh my god. Yes. So yeah, this is the last one. Is this the longest one? Feels like the longest.
Feels the longest. I don't think it is.
No, I think the first one's the longest.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
But yeah, this one again got some good moments in, but I don't think it utilises the premise as well as it possibly could.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Some parts I really like. I do like seeing Mr. Burns and Smithers just hanging out together.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. But other than that, there isn't much.
There's not much to it, yeah.
I quite like the weird bit where he's wearing Homer's brain as a hat, and he's going, it's David Crockett.
I'm Davy Crockett. Yeah, I like that, yeah. That's really weird. I like how he's humming a bit of music from The Wizard of Oz.
Really? I've never seen The Wizard of Oz. So.
When he's scalping Homer's brain out, that's really funny. Like,
yeah.
I like that. And I do kind of like the fade out. I do like the little joke at the end where they cut to credits and they cut back and it's like the setup for like an awful like sitcom.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh Dad, it's my class's all you can eat spaghetti dinner tonight. Ooh, great. But Homer, we're doing a host for Princess Di or something like that. Like, oh, I hate having two heads.
Yeah. This one should have been the best one really because it's the most like thematically resonant, which is ridiculous to say about these obviously little jokey ones. But obviously Homer is scared, he hates his job and stuff, so there should have been more there. Yeah. But I think this is probably the weakest one.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the least memorable one. Like the only one of these that I remembered at all before watching this again was actually the Monkey Paw one.
Oh yeah.
It's just a really forgettable Treehouse of Horror one.
It's a bit of a shame, really.
Yeah, I mean, in such a great season. I mean, next we've got Lisa's Ponies coming up, but on this disc at DVD, you've also got Flaming Moe's.
Yes, classic.
Burns Verkaffen der Kraftwerk.
Oh, where the Germans take over.
Yeah, I Married Marge, a masterpiece one. It's just in the middle of all these classics.
It's Spinal Tap in it soon.
It's Spinal Tap in it soon.
Oh, there's Aerosmith.
Yeah, Aerosmith.
Oh,
Aerosmith, the real life Spinal Tap.
The real life Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
I know it Sting's in one soon as well, isn't it? But one
He's in Flaming Moe's, isn't he? Is it?
No, Sting's in the one where it's down the well.
And the album.
We do like a charity single dedicated to sending our love down the well. And Sting's trying to dig the hole and trying to get to Bart. He's like, I never want to let one of my fans down. Yeah. I don't think Bart ever played any of your records. And he's just delusional. That's funny.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's great. But yeah, in the middle of all these great, I mean, this has been a great season so far.
It's one of my favourites. This one.
They've all been 9s or 10s.
This is a low 7.
Yeah, I'd even say a 6. Really,
6. Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just unmemorable and not that funny.
I get the feeling this would have been quite good back in the day.
Back in the day, oh yeah,
when it first came out, but I don't think it's probably aged very well.
No. I don't think any of these deserve to be seen as classic Treehouse of Horrors.
No.
Yeah, and just not enough time put on it. It just feels a bit slapdash.
Yeah.
Almost as if they just felt like they had to do a Treehouse of Horror.
It was popular last year, so let's slap together a few stories and yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near as good as a lot of the ones. Well, this is another problem, really, comparing it to what's come afterwards. It pales. I would take that Shinning one over all of these.
Yeah.
Just a minute of that has got so many more jokes and specific references that are actually funny and play on things than this one does. But it's a 6. It's pretty good, but not memorable. Nothing bad about it. This is probably even going to be the worst episode of season 3.
Probably, yeah.
There's so many classic episodes coming up. I can't imagine that this would be anywhere other than the bottom.
Colonel Homer.
I can't remember Colonel Homer.
That's one where he goes out with he almost has an affair with Lurleen.
Lurleen, yeah.
No, this season does have Spinal Tap in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
But yeah, it was okay.
I remember one where Milhouse falls in love.
Oh, that's great.
With Samantha Stanky.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty good. But join us for next one, which will be the classic Lisa's Pony.
Yes.